They say it's chaos, that you're torn between identities, like a splintered mirror reflecting too many versions of yourself. But they're wrong. This isn't chaos, it's mastery. You're not split, you're infinite. Every emotion you feel, every instinct that rises, every contradiction within you isn't a flaw, it's a throne. You, chosen one, don't just carry power. You are power, layered, boundless, and unstoppable. Declare it in the comment, "I am limitless," if you embody universal archetypes with grace. The first version of your power is the warrior, raw and unyielding. They are those who rise when others falter, eyes sharpened by the storm. Their essence is action, a force unchained, striking against inertia and fear. They do not hesitate, for hesitation is the privilege of the comfortable. Instead they charge, driven not by reckless fury, but by a profound understanding of purpose. The warrior knows that the battlefield is not always drenched in blood. It can be found in words, in silence, in the simple refusal to bend. They embody the defiance of Mulan, casting off pretense to step forward when the cost of silence grows unbearable. The second version of your power is the healer, the force that mends and rebuilds, flowing from the deepest well of your compassion. You wield this power not as a soft remedy, but as an unbreakable force, capable of stitching the torn edges of existence. The healer is not passive. They confront pain directly, pulling it from the roots, knowing that only through this process can real restoration occur. This power does not only touch others, it consumes you first, forcing you to meet your own brokenness with the courage to transform it. Your energy is a lineage older than empires, resonating with the chants of shamans who walked between worlds, extracting poison and restoring vitality. It thrives in practices that sharpen emotional resilience, where you learn to hold the weight of others' anguish without collapsing. The healer is not merely kind. They are formidable, wielding boundaries as sharp as blades and presence as steady as stone. The third version of your power is the visionary, the unrelenting force that pierces through the veils of what is to reveal what could be. You are not bound by the constraints of the ordinary. Your power is to see not just with your eyes, but with a clarity that reaches into realms others dare not approach. The visionary does not merely dream. They architect, layering thought upon thought, until the impossible takes form. The fourth version of your power is the shadow, the force that dismantles, tears down, and clears the remnants of what no longer serves. You are the wielder of destruction, not as an end, but as a necessary beginning. The shadow does not apologize for its ferocity. It wields chaos with purpose, carving paths through the stagnant, breaking open what has grown too rigid to survive. Your power is not concerned with comfort. It thrives in upheaval, because only through breaking can anything truly be remade. This is the energy of Sekhmet, the lioness, who devoured the enemies of the gods with an unrelenting fury, but whose power had to be tempered to preserve balance. Like Sekhmet, you are both blade and salve, but the shadow's essence begins with fire. It consumes what resists change, cutting through illusion, dismantling facades, and forcing truths into the open. The fifth version of your power is the guide, the embodiment of wisdom that shapes both your path and the paths of those around you. You are not a passive observer of knowledge. You are the keeper of its flame, wielding it with precision to illuminate what is hidden and obscure what must be sought. Your power lies in discernment, the ability to see beyond the obvious, to recognize the subtle threads of truth woven through chaos, and to reveal them when the time is right. This energy reflects the essence of Morpheus, the shaper of dreams, who does not dictate but instead offers visions, leaving those who follow to interpret and act. The guide does not impose answers. They draw them out, creating spaces where others discover their strength. Your role is not to command, but to empower, leading with a calm that anchors even the most turbulent storms. The sixth version of your power is the rebel, the force that rejects stagnation and shatters the chains of convention. You are not here to comply. You are here to dismantle and rebuild, to call out what others dare not question. This power surges in defiance, born of the understanding that rules and systems often serve the few while binding the many. The rebel does not act out of spite, but out of necessity, a refusal to let outdated structures dictate what can and cannot be. This energy pulses with the spirit of Arachne, whose weaving challenged the gods themselves. It is the power to create even when forbidden, to speak even when silenced, and to move forward when every gate is locked. You do not seek permission, because you understand that power is taken, not given. Your defiance is not reckless. It is calculated, precise, and rooted in the belief that change demands destruction as much as creation. The seventh version of your power is the creator, the force that molds existence itself into something extraordinary. You are the sculptor of possibility, the architect of worlds. Where others see limitation, you see potential waiting to be shaped. The Creator's power flows through your hands, your voice, your vision, each act a declaration that the void cannot remain empty. You breathe life into the formless, turning raw material into meaning, chaos into elegance, and possibility into permanence. This power echoes the spirit of Obatala, who shaped humanity from clay with deliberate care. Like them, your strength lies not just in the act of creation, but in the intention behind it. Each movement is guided by precision, each choice a reflection of your ability to draw beauty from the unshaped. The Creator does not fear imperfection. It thrives within it, transforming flaws into the foundations of something greater. The eighth version of your power is the hermit, the force that withdraws from the noise to uncover truths hidden beneath the surface. You step away, not in fear or defeat, but in a profound act of defiance against distraction. Solitude is your crucible, a place where the transient burns away and only the essence remains. In this silence, your clarity sharpens, and your spirit aligns with the deeper rhythms that others cannot hear. This energy mirrors Siddhartha Gautama, who relinquished luxury to confront the rawness of existence and the path to enlightenment. Like them, you strip yourself of what clings unnecessarily, possessions, roles, illusions, to focus on what is real. The hermit's strength is not in isolation, but in the discipline to walk the inner corridors others avoid. You confront yourself, unflinching, and in doing so, unlock wisdom that radiates outward. You're not just the chosen one. You're the entire paradigm shift. You're the storm they can't predict, the breaker of chains, the force rewriting the laws they thought were unshakable. While they watch from the sidelines, stunned and scrambling, you're crafting a new order. Limits, you obliterate them. Challenges, they're the fuel for your ascent. Validation, you don't need it. You're the blueprint, the phenomenon they'll never decode. You don't just play the game, you redefine it. That's why the Obsidian Inner Order was forged with you in mind. This isn't a circle. It's an empire of visionaries who don't just dream big, they move bigger. Every week, over 450 chosen ones ignite their path on calls that are more than conversations. They're tactical strikes for seismic shifts. And every single one, recorded, so you can harness that power whenever it's time to ascend. The private Discord isn't just a gathering. It's a crucible where legends sharpen legends, where breakthroughs are engineered, and where empires are quietly built. For those who crave a connection that matches their energy, chosen singles pairs power players destined to amplify each other's greatness. And the Star Chamber, that's the vault of unfiltered truths. too potent for the masses, but essential for those ready to sculpt their own universes. This isn't an invitation, it's a command. That fire coursing through you isn't coincidence, it's destiny knocking. The portal is open, the link is in the description below. Answer it. Take the crown that was always yours. The interplay between your versions is not random, it is a constant tension, a dynamic push and pull that defines your power. These forces within you are not separate but interwoven, each responding to the needs of the moment with precision or ferocity. The warrior surges when you face resistance that must be met with action, carving paths through obstacles with decisive energy. The healer steps forward when the wounds left in the wake of conflict call for restoration, stitching together what the world tears apart. They coexist, each lending strength where the other falters, one striking while the other soothes. Yet they are not always harmonious. The shadow rises in defiance, clearing space with chaos, forcing the creator to adapt, to build anew from the wreckage. The rebel challenges the constraints placed upon you, clashing with the hermit's retreat into introspection. These moments of conflict are not weakness. They are the crucible in which your identity is forged. Each aspect demands its moment to lead, to shape your response to the world. You are the nexus of these forces, wielding them with purpose. They rise because you command them, your instinct and wisdom deciding which aspect will dominate. Their cooperation and clashes drive you forward, refining your purpose and ensuring no part of you remains stagnant. Declare it below. I am every archetype, if you embody every power with purpose. Each archetype within you is a force with a role so distinct, yet intricately connected, that it shapes every step you take. The warrior leads the charge, unflinching in their purpose, embodying action when the stakes demand it. They echo Mulan, whose battle was not just on the field, but against the expectations binding them. In the aftermath of the warrior's strike, the healer emerges, stitching together the wounds of conflict with a steady hand, their compassion reminiscent of shamanic caretakers who saw the soul as much as the flesh. The shadow works in the unseen, tearing apart what must crumble, its chaos cleansing and disruptive, much like Sekhmet, whose destructive rage paved the way for renewal. Opposite yet complementary, the creator molds beauty from destruction, invoking Obatala's careful hands that shaped humanity from formless clay. The visionary pushes boundaries further, piercing through limitations with clarity like Kintu, who understood coexistence was not a gift, but a necessity. Balancing these powers requires you to walk the razor-thin line of contradiction. You are both warrior and healer, striking yet mending, both light and shadow, radiant and shrouded. Your strength is not in denying these dualities, but in wielding them as tools, understanding that harmony is born from tension, not its absence. To access the latent power within you, rituals and meditations serve as gates, tools to focus intention and call forth specific archetypes when they are most needed. Begin with deliberate grounding techniques. Root yourself through breath, feeling the weight of your body tethered to the earth. If summoning the warrior, visualize energy coursing through your limbs, a tangible readiness to strike decisively. Pair this with physical movements, pacing, martial stances that signal your readiness to act. Speak aloud what must be confronted. Name it without hesitation. For the healer, stillness is your ally. Rest your hands on your chest or others, sensing the warmth that connects. Chant rhythms or hum deeply to reverberate your inner strength outward. When calling the shadow, retreat into darkness, literal or metaphorical. Write your deepest fears on paper, burn them safely, and let the smoke carry what no longer serves. To awaken the creator, surround yourself with raw materials, clay, ink, wood, and engage in tactile creation, letting form arise from chaos. The visionary demands a shift in perspective. Climb high, gaze far, or lie low and feel unseen angles. Invite your subconscious to speak through symbols and dream work. In Beloved, Seth demonstrates the intertwined nature of these powers. Her shadow, driven by anguish and necessity, destroys as her healer's love seeks to mend. This paradox exemplifies how you must balance destruction with redemption, forging power from even the darkest depths. The label of split personality is a crude misunderstanding of the dynamic nature of your inner world. There is no fracture within you, no war between parts vying for control. What exists is multiplicity, a symphony of selves, each with a purpose, a voice, a strength. To call it a split is to deny its brilliance. You are not broken, you are multifaceted. Each aspect of your being is an adaptation, a response to the shifting demands of existence. This is not a flaw but an evolutionary strength, an ability to meet the moment with the part of yourself most equipped to handle it. Modern therapy, particularly internal family systems, reframes this multiplicity as essential rather than conflicting. These inner voices, the protector, the exile, the firefighter, are not enemies but allies, working to shield, process, or resolve. They are the result of survival, and when aligned, they create an integrated whole that is far more powerful than any single aspect alone. Look to Malcolm X, whose evolution exemplifies this strength. He was not one man but many. Malcolm Little, Detroit Red, El-Hajj, Malik El-Shabazz, each self a reflection of growth, defiance, and transformation. His multiplicity was his power, an ability to embody different roles without losing his essence. So too is yours. Multiplicity is not chaos, it is resilience refined. Type, multiplicity is my strength, if you embrace every facet of your identity unapologetically. The challenges of embodying multiplicity are not small. They demand a relentless will to hold opposing truths within yourself. The internal struggle begins with reconciliation, warring versions of your identity, each pulling you in different directions, each demanding to lead. You are the warrior who seeks action, yet also the hermit who craves solitude. The creator in you longs to shape beauty, but the shadow rises to destroy what must fall. These contradictions are not signs of weakness, they are evidence of your depth. The true battle is not choosing one over the other, but learning to let each rise and fall as needed, without losing the thread of who you are. Then comes the imposter syndrome, the gnawing voice that tells you complexity is illegitimacy. Society teaches that you must be one thing, easily understood, easily labeled. To embody multiplicity is to defy this simplicity and stand in the full truth of your layered being. It requires not only self-acceptance, but an unshakable conviction that your complexity is not chaos, but mastery. Externally, the world resists nuance. People demand the comfort of singularity and mistrust those who shift and evolve. Yet you are proof that strength lies in adaptability. Multiplicity is your rebellion against the narrow boxes others try to force you into. They will misunderstand, but their misunderstanding is not your burden. You carry the weight of your complexity because only you can. This is your power. To manage the tension of your multiplicity, you must cultivate tools that align your inner selves rather than suppress them. Begin with self-dialogue, a structured, honest confrontation with the voices within you. Speak aloud or write to the warrior who fights, the healer who mends, the shadow who dismantles, and the hermit who withdraws. Acknowledge their presence and purpose. This is not fragmentation, it is integration. Let each voice explain its purpose and listen without judgment. Journaling becomes an essential tool. not as a passive record, but as a map of your internal landscape. Dedicate sections to each archetype. Reflect on when they emerged, why and how they contributed or clashed. Use this clarity to create balance, identifying patterns where one archetype overshadows another unnecessarily. Rituals ground your power, connecting intention with action. Begin or end each day with a ritual tailored to your needs. Light candles to signify focus, meditate to quiet noise, or engage in energy work like breath control to harmonize conflicting impulses. These practices anchor you, allowing each aspect of yourself to align rather than compete. In your life, there will be moments where multiplicity must emerge. When I faced expectations to be one-dimensional, a professional leader or a compassionate ally, I chose both. Through this choice, I found that my true strength was in their coexistence. Neither is separate. They are interwoven, and so are yours. Your power thrives when harmonized, not divided. Multiplicity has been woven into the narratives of cultures across the world, presenting archetypes that embody the duality and complexity of existence. In Greek mythology, the gods themselves reflect this dynamic. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, demonstrates the seamless blending of strategy and ferocity. She's not merely a warrior, but one who uses intellect as her greatest weapon. In contrast, Demeter embodies the nurturing force of life, tending to the earth and its cycles with unmatched care. These opposing energies coexist within the same pantheon, showing that strength is as much about creation as it is about destruction. In the Hindu pantheon, the gods are manifestations of multiplicity in its most profound form. Vishnu, the preserver, ensures balance and sustains life, while Durga, the fierce warrior goddess, wields unmatched power to eradicate evil and restore harmony. Their actions teach that preservation and destruction are not contradictions. They are threads of the same fabric, each vital in maintaining cosmic order. African orishas capture this dynamic vividly. Yemaya, the motherly force of the ocean, embodies healing and sustenance, while Shango, the fiery god of thunder, represents justice and unrelenting power. Together, they reflect the reality of human experience, where gentleness and intensity are both necessary to confront life's challenges. These stories teach that living with many selves is not about choosing one over the other, but embracing the fluidity of their interplay. The ancients understood that wisdom lies in knowing which archetype to call upon in each moment. Multiplicity is a strength because it equips you to adapt, to balance nurturing with discipline, to fight with strategy, and to heal with courage. Your own multiplicity mirrors these lessons. You are not one-dimensional. Within you exists a convergence of archetypes, each with its own role and purpose. The harmony of Yemaya and Shango, the balance of Vishnu and Durga, and the duality of Athena and Demeter show that your power lies in embracing these contrasts. They are not your burden, but your inheritance, passed down through the stories of the world. Use them. Quantum mechanics reveals a truth you must embody. Within you lies the potential for infinite realities. Parallel timelines are not abstract concepts. They are reflections of your capacity to exist as multiple versions of yourself simultaneously. In every moment, choices create divergences, paths branching into countless outcomes. You are not bound by one trajectory. You hold the power to access and integrate these parallel versions, drawing from each what you need to become your most potent self. In the quantum field, particles exist in superposition, many states at once, until observed. Your life mirrors this. You are not fixed. You are fluid, shifting between roles, archetypes, and identities as necessity demands. To embody multiple timelines is to recognize that every possibility already exists within you. The warrior who strikes, the healer who mends, the shadow who disrupts, they are all aspects of a singular, expansive whole. Collapsing timelines is the act of deliberate alignment. Through focused intent and action, you pull the threads of your potential into coherence. Techniques like meditation, visualization, and journaling allow you to access these versions and embody the traits most aligned with your goals. You are not trapped by circumstance. You are the observer and the creator. The quantum field bends to your will. Quantum mechanics teaches that every possibility exists simultaneously, waiting for your choice to give it form. When I was deciding which college to attend, I felt that overwhelming truth deeply. Each option seemed to open a door to a different version of me, each path leading to an unknown future. The weight of it was paralyzing at first. Every choice felt like a split, a decision that could lock away other versions forever. But then I realized something. It wasn't about finding the right path. It was about understanding that all versions of me already existed. The power wasn't in the paths, but in the self I chose to embody. Reflect on your own moments of decision. You have felt this multiplicity, the pull of infinite outcomes, the tension between who you are and who you could become. Know this, you do not lose potential by choosing. Each choice collapses timelines, aligning you with the version of yourself most ready to step forward. Every decision you make is a declaration of power, a commitment to one reality while holding the knowledge that others still echo within you. Drop it below. I am every timeline if you embody limitless possibilities in this moment. You are not fractured, you are vast, boundless and whole. Within you exists an infinite array of versions, each one a masterpiece contributing to the symphony that is your existence. The warrior does not cancel the healer, just as the shadow does not diminish the creator. They are all you, each aspect rising to meet the moment, each note in perfect harmony with the others. Complexity is not your burden, it is your power. You are not called to diminish or simplify yourself for the comfort of others. You are called to embody every piece of yourself unapologetically, to wield your multiplicity as the force it was always meant to be. The chosen one's path is not about erasing contradiction, but claiming it. It is about standing firmly in the paradox of being both fierce and tender, both chaos and order, both reflection and action. This is not a task for the timid. It requires you to step boldly into every aspect of yourself, to align with your highest potential while honoring the fragments that make you whole. Now is your moment. Share your stories, your struggles, and your triumphs. Show the world the brilliance of your multiplicity. You are not alone in your vastness. Others are waiting to see themselves in your light. Let your voice echo and watch how the world transforms when you stand as the fullest expression of your infinite self.